Who among us has never dreamed of being as tall as the models in the magazines, or the basketball players? Are you fascinated by human giants? Then come and discover with us the 10 tallest people in the world. Who doesn't know the Big Shaq? If you're a basketball fan from near or far, you're bound to know the awesome Shaquille O'Neal. At 2.16 meters, he is one of the tallest players of all time. His shoe size is as impressive as his weight, since he weighs 147 kilograms and wears, hold on to your hat, a 63. I let you imagine the size of his feet. It is at the age of 12 years that he is noticed for his extraordinary size, and at that time, he was already 1.98 meters. Shaquille will evolve throughout his years in the NBA within several prestigious teams, from his beginnings with the Orlando Magic to his end of career with the Boston Celtics, passing by the Los Angeles Lakers where he will know his hours of glory. Shaq will mark his passage in the NBA with many records, and it is not the many panels broken by the weight of the giant that will contradict us. Beyond the world of sports, the great Shaq will have marked the sport by his attitude, always very funny, and his legendary kindness. He will also participate in several film productions as well as many commercials, to the point of becoming a true icon in the image of Michael Jordan. If you are not afraid of the police, you will surely change your mind when we introduce you to this Indian policeman. Jagdeep Singh is 2.28 meters tall, weighs no less than 190 kilograms and wears size 57. Clearly, he doesn't need to stand on his toes to see what's going on in the distance. In fact, he is so tall that he has to have his uniform sewn by a personal tailor and import shoes from abroad. Previously, the tallest cop in the world was also from India, Rajesh Kumar from Haryana. It is obvious that he will not find a shoe to fit him in the common stores. Jagdeep Singh has been in the police force for 2 decades now and enjoys being the center of attraction, but he faces many challenges because of his height. I am very proud to be the tallest police officer in India. I am 2.28 meters tall, weigh about 190 kilograms, and I am very happy about it, Singh was quoted as saying by the English magazine, The Daily Mail. I can't find shoes in my size in India. I have to order them from another country, he added. We hope that since things have settled down for Singh and that he can find a shoe more easily in his country. Considered the tallest woman in Pakistan at 2.18 meters, Zeenab Bibi decided to live in the UK after being persecuted in Pakistan because of her height. Unfortunately, despite all her fabulous work, in 2017, she said she was struggling to make ends meet due to her illness and lack of financial cooperation from the government. In addition to her height, Zeenab suffered from diabetes and high blood pressure. She was also undergoing treatment for a kidney disease that eventually took her life. Zeenab was buried in Rajana in her village in Punjab. We will never forget you, Zeenab. Here is now Fabrice Calmels, the tallest dancer in the world. As a child, he dreamed of becoming a fighter pilot in the US Air Force. But his passion for dance won out. Born in Colombes, France, Fabrice says that his parents worked a lot. It was at the age of 4 that he began to follow his sister to her ballet classes. But it was at the age of 15 that he fell in love with the art and made it his mission to enter the corps de ballet of the prestigious Paris Opera Dance School. He was then a perfectly normal size. However, at the age of 17, nothing went right and he experienced an unexpected growth spurt. I was gaining almost an inch every month, he says. It was shocking and very painful. My bones were growing so much that they were pulling on my muscles. And there were many, many more difficulties. I was losing technique and strength. I was under pressure because it was my last year at the Paris Opera Dance School. He explains that he had to relearn how to dance and do things differently. Rejected by the Paris Opera, his director at the time advised him to try his luck abroad. Today, Fabrice Calmels performs as a principal dancer with the famous Joffrey Ballet in Chicago, Illinois, USA. The 2-meter-tall dancer knew how to tame his body and make his size an asset in order to be an inspiration to future generations of dancers. Measuring in at 2.15 meters in 2015, 16-year-old Kevin Bradford was the world's tallest male teenager recorded by Guinness World Records. At age 19, Kevin had to undergo eye surgery. He had a potentially devastating degenerative eye disease that affects 1/500th Americans. Although there are treatment options available, the unique challenges associated with Kevin's extreme size had deterred some eye surgeons from confidently taking on the case. It was Dr. Brian Boxer Washler, the Beverly Hills eye surgeon who invented a treatment that was able to prevent the keratoconus from worsening and save the young man's sight. The trip to the doctor's office in California was not an easy one for Kevin and his mother who accompanied him. Neither the planes nor the hotel rooms were adapted to the young boy's immense size. Dr. Brian relates how the surgery went. "We had to make special accommodations for Kevin in the operating room. The patient's bed wasn't long enough, so we used a modified chair at the bottom of the bed to rest his legs and feet to keep him stable. Having his legs hang a few feet above the bottom of the procedure bed would have been risky by making his upper body and head unstable during surgery. Fortunately, the surgery went well, and today you can follow Kevin's story in a documentary called Tallest Teens, which followed 3 teens and the struggles associated with their height, which was broadcast on TLC network." Although deceased for more than 200 years, the Irishman Patrick Cotter O'Brien remains in the history, one of the greatest men of all time with his 2.46 meters. He was also known as the Bristol Giant and the Irish Giant. Cotter O'Brien was spotted as a bricklayer at the age of 18 by a showman who lured him into a freak show, which promised him a lot of money. A freak show is the exhibition of human beings with physical aspects out of the ordinary, such as a very small or very large size, an exceptional flexibility, intersex or any other feature that is shocking to the spectator. One can imagine that Cotter's life must not have been easy every day, locked up and exposed like a beast in front of a mocking public. One day, after what was certainly a sad and tasteless life, Cotter died. Certainly from the effects of the gigantic disease. He was transported by 14 men because there was no hearse big enough to support his coffin of more than 2.5 meters. He had asked to be buried in 12 feet of rock, and this last wish was granted. Unfortunately, what he wanted to avoid happened anyway, because in 1972, when he was exhumed for research purposes, his huge arm is still preserved in the Medical Museum of the Royal College of Surgeons in London. What a sad fate for this giant. Junsai Zhang is a native of Shaanxi province in China. On November 23, 2010, he was recognized as the tallest man in China, reaching 2.42 meters. At 55 years old today, the Chinese giant lives quietly from his great size, which represents today 100% of his income. He was rather intelligent and knew how to take advantage of his great size in order to be able to earn his living only thanks to his few extra centimeters. Not much is known about the rather discreet man in life except that he is very friendly with Yao Ming, the tallest woman in the world, whom he visited in the hospital in 2010 and who died in 2012. Check out this couple. Between them they are over 4.23 meters. The couple got married in 2013, and their combined height exceeds that of former Chinese basketball player Yao Ming and his wife Yi Li, which stood at about 4.16 meters. These two-star athletes in their country of origin, China, are respectively 2.36 meters for the man and 1.87 meters for the woman. Enough to make you dizzy, isn't it? The basketball champion and the handball player met in 2009 during the Chinese National Games, fell in love and ended up getting married. When talking about their size, Sun and Shu relate, daily tasks such as traveling by car, plane or getting a room in a hotel are difficult, but we are used to these problems. And if they could give us one piece of advice for a successful marriage, it would be, no one is perfect, so you have to support each other every day. Morteza Mirzad Selekjani is the tallest man in Iran, the tallest Paralympian in history and currently the second tallest man in the world. He is a member of the Iranian national men's sitting volleyball team. Morteza uses crutches and a wheelchair because of a bicycle accident he had when he was 16 years old. In this accident, he was injured in his right leg, which has prevented this leg from growing since he actually suffers from a health problem called acromegaly. He first appeared in sitting volleyball matches in 2016 at the Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. He was discovered by Iranian volleyball coach Hadi Retsagerkhani in 2015 while playing for a local club called Saman Al-Hojaj Sabzevar. When I first saw Morteza, I knew I had found an asset for my team because size is important in the sitting volley game. I gave him a good training and took him to the 2016 Paralympics. He is still in training. He has been a good scorer so far, said coach Hadi Retsagerkhani. For Morteza, who has lived in isolation because he was considered strange by his family and friends, becoming a sitting volleyball player and representing Iran in a competition in which other countries participate is a great joy. And we understand him. Let's end up on a person a little more like you and me, with a size let's say, standard. Austin Mahone is an American singer-songwriter, dancer, musician and actor you may know. Born in 1996 in San Antonio, Texas, He has become known for his many covers posted on YouTube and has become a real known and recognized artist. He even opened for Taylor Swift a few times in 2013, so that sets you up a bit for the character and his meteoric rise. But what interests us today is certainly not his music. Look at this picture of him with his girlfriend Katya Henry. They are having fun and enjoy themselves together on the beach in Miami. But our eyes are drawn to the young woman next to them. What a giant. Did you see it right? Well, you should know that this photo is nothing but a montage. Here is the real picture. The young woman is certainly tall, but not with the proportions of the trickery that we showed you. Yes, internet users were once again deceived. Be careful, and don't believe everything you see on the internet. It can be true as well as false. So be careful. Tell us in the comments which of these giants impressed you the most. And if you like this video, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all the notifications and not miss anything of our next contents. See you soon for a new video as surprising as this one.